Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reality Hacker for February 22nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 8. I am Merwat, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles in Reality Hacker each Saturday, and along with 2 other shows that we do immediately after, and they are Wanted and the Continuity Report. We merge them together, and they become the Saturday edition of Non Sequitur News. Let's do this. So the 5 articles that we're going to talk about are building a different mouse, muscle-powered robot, mixed reality solutions, virtual reality training, and quantum computer teleportation. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. It's easy. You just sign up real quick or sign in if you already have an account, and then you get a 7th menu option. I'm actually working on that option right now. And you get to sort news however you want it. And along with that, you can go over to YouTube and follow us there, ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, and follow us over on Twitch. Different chats, but one side you'll like more than the other usually, how people work. I don't know. Anyway, there's 1,900 episodes now of ohmTown related news over on YouTube and the podcasts. We've been doing this now this is the 4th year. We're in the 2nd month of the 4th year. Anyway, see you on the other side of our intro. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
You ready to get going?
I am.
All right. Well, that first article is over in Greenogram. A human gene makes mice squeak differently. Did it contribute to language? A gene variant present in most people might have contributed to cognitive differences between humans and their closest relatives. You ever hear of the animation The Secret of NIMH?
I have. Do you think this is inspired by Secret of NIMH?
Or The Secret of NIMH is a documentary. Yeah, so we're basically going to be creating mice that have the ability to talk.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Like the dinosaur? You know there was a dinosaur that could talk?
Was it Thesaurus?
It was a thesaurus, yes. Anyway, the article is over in nature.com, which I guess it's one and the same, right? It is in nature to have mice that squeak. I guess if we...
Right. Yeah, it kind of fits.
We're messing with nature, and so we're making them squeak differently. So you and Callaway over at nature.com put the article together, and which one of these is the mice?
Which person in the picture?
Yeah. Which one is squeaking differently? The caption under this, by the way,
Probably
it's a Getty
the
image.
one situated by themselves, right?
The
Like
one that
the
everybody's
with the
talking
back to
to.
us.
Yeah, that's exactly how I took it too. They're looking at it going, wow, that is a very different kind of mouse. It says under the image, almost all humans carrying a gene variant called Nova1 that is not present in ancient human relatives and has been implicated in the development of speech. And it has a credit, 10,000 hours /Getty. You know, there's a saying about to become an expert.
Yeah, that's a pretty funny name for that channel or provider of images.
Mice carrying a gene variant present in nearly every human on Earth and not by extinct relatives, including Neanderthals, produce more complex chirps than normal rodents. How do they know about Neanderthals and the genes? Do we have genetic makeup of Neanderthals?
I don't know. That's kind of alarming if we do.
So the findings suggest that the mutation, which changes a protein called Nova1 that has a role in orchestrating gene activity in the brain, might have contributed to cognitive differences between humans and their closest relatives, and possibly to aspects of complex speech and language. Robert Darnell, a neuroscientist at Rockefeller University in New York City, first encountered Nova1 gene 30 years ago when his team linked it to an autoimmune disorder that caused severe movement problems in people. The gene is usually switched on only in the brain, where the Nova-1 protein controls the expression of dozens of other brain active genes. We really don't know what the frick we're doing. So, yeah.
This is like kind of bad bat territory, isn't it?
Oh, I can't keep reading. Doggone it. I hate that. Anyway, yeah, we're going to have it's going to be Planet of the Mice, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to end up with like hybrid mice, humans, whatever that is.
Monkey, mice, human, whatever else. I mean, I think they did like pig kidney or something like that transplant recently.
Yeah.
And whatever else. It's just going to be what is that, Island of Dr. Moreau kind of a thing.
Exactly, like all kinds of experimental.
Although I think we're closer to Mars attacks at this point. Anyway, the genetic change, which swaps an isoleucine amino acid for a valine in the encoded protein, has one of just a handful of protein-altering changes that evolved in the more than 500,000 years after the hominin group split from a common ancestor in Africa. Although that's what we think. This suggests that the changes benefited early humans so greatly that the mutations became ubiquitous. I mean, if they gave us the ability to communicate with each other, then yeah. Hey, look out, there's a bear behind you.
Exactly.
Or
I mean,
a lion.
that could be a positive thing, right? For survival.
What's that word you said? Oh, shit? Oh, yeah, okay. Let's move on. Oh, by the way, if you want all of today's articles, you can just hit !NSN, because I'm changing that to ! Although I prefer saying bang NSN. But people go, what? Bang? What? Why?
Yeah, that's not understood. I think you need to use !
Wait a minute. That's the wrong... Oh, it's because I hit the wrong thing. We're in RealityHacker, so ! RH is RealityHacker.
But are we?
Are we really? I mean, we're hacking. I mean, the reason why I said it is because we were in Non Sequitur News. But anyway, if you hit ! NSN in the chat over on Twitch, you're going to get yesterday's episode of articles.
Right, but we do pull from all the channels, although typically focus more heavily on the channel for the show.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Futurism, and we talked about this yesterday, but it was worthy of bringing into RealityHacker as well, because this is the stuff of nightmares, according to Frank Landemore over at Futurism.
I'd have to agree.
So if you've ever watched Westworld, this is an android that's similar to it in construct, where it has like muscle fibers that are building the armature up. So it's a robot that has muscles, and this thing is creepy as all get out. So it says, forget valleys, we're now entering veritable Grand Canyons of uncanniness, which I didn't talk about yesterday. But yeah, I don't believe that there is an uncanny valley. I believe that there is an uncanny black hole cliff face that envelops everything that approaches it. And then on the other side, you have humans, like android humanoids that are inseparable from the human component, right? You walk up to an android that is on the other side of the uncanny valley, and you're like, okay, I have no idea that you're a robot. That's Westworld. This is in the black hole of uncanny. So it's definitely not a valley.
We're never coming back from that.
No, and once you go in, you don't come out. So behold the robot known as Protoclone. Built by Clone Robotics, it's supposedly the world's first bipedal musculoskeletal android, but it's mostly just got people extremely creeped out.
What I want to know is why.
They asked
robotics, yes, but why this?
Written on the pictures of this thing is, did we ever stop to think that we should? And written on it, dear God, no, please stop. All that is holy is written on these pictures as well.
And those aren't just from the article, those are from the company.
Yeah, this is creepy. This is mad scientist, Island of Dr. Moreau kind of stuff. So, nope, with a menacing cinematic score, we're presented with this writhing, cadaverous mass, shorn of a recognizable face, blindly grasping at the world it didn't want to be brought into. A totally unsolicited reminder that we, too, are merely the supple impedimenta playing host to a network of electrical pulses or something. Yeah, that's in this article as well. So like I said yesterday...
Do you think the author is creeped out here?
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, I mean, it's in a section called Avert Your Eyes. So according to its website, the Android is equipped with the world's most sophisticated hydraulic powering system, mimicking our human blood vessels. Its muscles are composed of Clone's proprietary myofiber artificial muscle tech, providing an unparalleled combination of weight, power density, speed, force to weight, and energy efficiency, Clone says. Underneath, the robot possesses a human-like skeleton with analogs for all 206 bones of the human body. It can also see using 4 cameras installed in its skull.
Oh no, let me guess. It must be able to see backwards.
This is something else that I didn't say in yesterday's episode. Clone co-founder Danush Radhakrishna, whose display name is Necromancer, calls the robot's progress...
I did notice that yesterday, but I don't think I commented on it.
The robot's progress, ground zero for the age of androids. All right, well, this will be a short. Let's move on. The next article is over in RealityHacker. Back to the old, hacking reality, not throwing us into...
We're so far past it.
The reality. So, but we are hacking reality with all of these. Azure Mixed Reality Solutions, building the future of digital transformation. All of this is techno gobbledygook. Extended reality, as it is revolutionizing the enterprise landscape, giving businesses incredible opportunities to optimize productivity, reduce operational costs, and enhance collaboration. Innovative offerings like Microsoft's Azure Mixed Reality Solutions are offering companies the flexibility to create customized digital environments for everything from remote device monitoring to training, which I think is great. The problem here is, instead of optimizing so that there's work-life balance, what you're getting is, oh, wow, we've optimized it so that it takes you 4 hours to do 8 hours worth of work. Now I've got you for 4 more hours, and I can just abuse the living crap out of you.
Exactly. Plus, at some point, is anybody going to be dealing with a human, or is it going to be like AI training AI?
Yeah.
With the customer being AI.
Yeah, eventually it's just going to be AI all the way down. It's going to be like Battlestar Galactica, where there's one human that is basically theoretically leading all of the Cylons, except that the Cylons are just using him to be able to wipe out the rest of the humans. So they say, in fact, their own research over at xrtoday.com, Rebecca Carter put the article together. They say that their own research found that 36% of companies are currently using XR, or extended reality, to enhance training initiatives with digital twins, collaborative virtual environments, and real-time access to data. That one I can go for. Real-time access to data, I like.
Yeah, that sounds like a positive.
Yeah, virtual environments, sure. But the whole digital twins thing, I don't know. Anyway, this goes on to talk about what's called Azure Digital Twins, an IoT platform that allows businesses to rapidly create digital representations of environments. Pardon me. These virtual replicas offer real-time insights into physical spaces and tools, helping companies to monitor operations. And Azure Remote Rendering, when it comes to visualizing 3D models, Azure Remote Rendering steps in to deliver high-fidelity visuals at speed, whatever at speed means. And spatial anchors, which allow users to create mixed reality experiences that are spatially aware and accessible across multiple platforms. Stop that. So, what I like about the anchor is that you can actually put it somewhere. It stays there. And when you walk into its sphere of influence, it becomes responsive. I love that idea, but all I want are XR glasses that interact with whatever I allow it to. But that's really not what is going to end up
Right. You
happening.
don't want it whatever the company thinks is what's needed. You need to be able to customize it.
Yep. Yeah. So the benefits of mixed reality solutions, they go into detail about HoloLens and Azure mixed, which HoloLens is basically wetting the bed. And they go into deeper context about these other issues like digital twins, unlocking real-time insights, and optimizing training and collaboration. But extended reality really is a benefit in terms of training because you can actually interact with the extended reality elements without having to be in that environment, because sometimes it can be dangerous, and you train in it. You don't actually live in it yet. Eventually you skill up and then you get brought into a physical environment where screwing up could mean a little bit more.
Am I the only one alarmed by the fact that there's a digital twin consortium?
Oh, it really depends on where you end up with that, right? But yeah.
Like, I mean, it kind of sounds cool, but and it's kind of like,
yeah, everything can be basically replicated and put into this virtual or augmented reality, extended reality, mixed reality environment. And so your identity no longer becomes sole representation of you. You can be cloned. It's unsettling. But eventually, I think people are going to be, all right, well, I guess they took another one of me.
Right. I guess it depends on what the use case is.
Yeah, particularly the way things have pivoted. So we'll see. Let's keep on working, though, through these articles. The next article is over in RealityHacker. NHS pushes forward with multi-million virtual reality training project. This week, the NHS made further strides in leveraging extended reality technologies via a government-led £4.3 million VR training initiative. The initiative attempts to reduce related travel and material costs while also addressing skill shortages among STEAM students. And STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Students and NHS staff. So Innovate UK is leading the multi-million-dollar VR training initiative, bringing outreach programs and hands-on training to students, professionals, and NHS staff. And this is the inverse of what's happening in the United States, where everybody is being told you have to go back to work or worse. I just find it really interesting that there is this polar opposite on the other side of the planet. So yeah, NHS over in the UK dedicating itself to a resilience project where you get virtual training, extended reality training, mixed reality training.
I mean, I think this makes sense. It saves money. It makes the training more accessible in terms of location to do the training, when you can do it, etc.
So here's what they said in this article. The Resilience Project follows research from the Faculty of Public Health, which found that NHS-related road travel accounts for 9.5 billion miles annually. So the NHS is turning to VR in a bid to lower its contribution to this extensive travel.
Well, I mean, certainly eco-friendly.
And like always, there's more over at this article, but Rory Greener at xrtoday.com put this article together. If you're interested in this kind of thing, follow the link and go over to xrtoday.com and check it out. I certainly am in the camp that you should be able to telework from wherever, as long as you can get the job done. There are certain things, though, where you have to be there in person, and I don't know.
Right, like if you're, I don't know, an EMT or something, you probably need to be there in person.
Yeah. And certain things have to be built. And so if you're the one that needs to build it, then you're the one that has to be there. So
Right, a little hard to build that at your house.
yeah, there are some people out there, though, that abuse this. Well, anyway, let's keep on going. the next article is over on Reality Hacker. This is the last one for the Reality Hacker episode today, for February 22nd, 2025. And a teleportation breakthrough for quantum computing is here. A team at the University of Oxford succeeded in getting two quantum processors to connect to each other and work together with particle entanglement.
So this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I guess it's George Gary. I don't know if that's George or Jorge Gary. I'm not sure. Over at Wired.com.
I'm
put the
going to
article
guess
together.
George, based on our previous incident.
George Jimenez. So a team at the University of Oxford succeeded in getting two quantum processors to connect to each other and transmit the same information using particle entanglement. I don't know if there's more in this article. I'm not logged in. Typically I log in, but forgot to do it this morning. For such a machine to be useful in real terms, multiple quantum processors need to be assembled in a single location. This increases a processor's power, but also its size, making it less practical and more delicate. Scientists are working on a solution that sounds like something out of science fiction series, connecting remote cores to each other through quantum teleportation to create even more powerful machines. So this is just a...
So I can get to more of the article, but it looks like they sent the algorithm wirelessly between two separate processors. The two cores took advantage of their unique nature, pooled their capabilities, and formed a superior computer to solve problems that neither of them could solve independently. Then it gets into quantum entanglement. It's been limited to transfer of states between systems, and this is distinctive because it used teleportation to create interactions between distant nuclei. Again, those are just a few highlights. There's a lot more to it in the article.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, right?
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like scientifically, this is quite a leap. Plus, the potential ramifications of this are pretty significant.
Yeah, so if they get a fully working quantum computer that's capable of doing the same kind of mathematics as a conventional computer, then theoretically encryption is broken from end to end. It doesn't matter because quantum computing can spit out every combination, test it, and find the actual encryption key. Not just a password, but anything that encrypts anything anywhere can be decoded from its base information. You don't just need the key. So it's unsettling, to say the least. So it'll be fascinating to watch this kind of stuff, but I don't know how far off we are, considering AI can be leveraged to facilitate this.
I think we're closer than we realize. I mean, given the speed of technological advancement.
Yeah. It's accelerating, but it's not going to be as regular Joes that are immediately benefiting from this. We used to be just a hop, skip, and jump from tactical to practical, but now there's a different step. So y'all need to be aware of it. All right. Well, anyways, we're going to quantum entangle our butts back to the front page of ohmtown.com and the Reality Hacker page, which is right here. Essentially, each one of these is a channel, and we're trying to slowly turn each one of these into a show. So if you're interested in hosting or co-hosting one of our shows, get in touch. Just send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com and we'll talk shop about it. At any rate, I am done, and I'm going to take the AI with me. So I'll see y'all later. You want to say bye?
Bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Reality Hacker. Stay tuned for Wanted and the Continuity Report.
Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wanted for February 22nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 8, and I am Mara Watt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 news articles concerning gadgets and gear. We're going to start out with Height PC Persona Case, Raycast, One vs. Many 2001 board game, Spotify Hi-Fi, and MLA and QD OLED TVs. That's all 5 of them. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen, and you can sit there and filter through all of the news to your heart's content and send stuff to us via a submission page that's under a 7th icon that is under construction. Even in the logged in side, you don't get it when you're not logged in. So anyway, go over and become a citizen. See you on the other side of this intro. How about that? I want to lead into the intro, but I don't want to say see ya. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Yeah, I don't like to edit stuff. And so I just gave you my thoughts. Every time I run that intro, I feel like people are going, oh, show's over, bye.
Yeah, I don't know how to... I guess you could just say something like, join us, or...
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, okay. Something like that.
All right, well, let's get into the 5 articles. The first one is, we don't actually grab the... See, so the people that have the news provide this content, but we don't screen scrape or anything like that. And so I don't even want the images. So the way that it works is we get the little headline, and sometimes there's a little snippet, and right here is the little snippet. And this one is titled, Height has announced another Persona-themed PC gaming case, and as a Persona diehard, the author of this thinks it's a little bit much. And it says down here, PC case and accessory manufacturer Height ran a limited run of Persona 3 Reload cases last year, which promptly sold out on the official site, though you can still pick one up from retailers. Now, a year later, a follow-up Persona 3 Reload Y70 case has just been announced, and as expected, its aesthetic is pretty loud. So the author, James Bentley, put this article together and has a picture of it, and the deck statement says the keycaps are gorgeous. All right, but this case is a little bit overwhelming. But if you're
it's not subtle.
No, but if you're into Persona, then you pretty much know what it is. It's referred to as a JRPG, Japanese RPG, and it's a fun watch. I've never played it because it's just not my style of game, but yeah, it's announced in a short video. The main focus of Height's new Persona 3 Reload collaboration is its Y70 case, a $270 beast with all the main cast plastered onto the side of it. To match this, antagonist Strega sit along the front of the case, where spooky tower Tartarus sits in between Strega and our protagonist. It has a distinctly darker theme than the main character-focused aesthetic of last year's Y60 case, though last year's bundle came with an Arcana card, and carrying tin. The new Y70 case is tied together by a sickly green with a clock on the opposite side of the case. It's certainly a striking aesthetic, though perhaps too over the top for a build that the author would primarily display behind their monitors. It's also $50 more than the traditional Y70 case.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're using it for. If you're a big Persona fan, if you're looking for something distinctive for your gaming rig.
Yep. If you're into it, then you're into it, I suppose. Height also announced a pretty blue Persona 3 Reload protagonist for desk pad and a Persona 3 Reload Aegis desk pad for $30. However, the author says their absolute favorite Height Persona 3 Reload collaboration is the $75 keycap set that launched last year. Taking the light blue aesthetic of the game, it has a logo for the spacebar, or on the spacebar, a sequence of symbols from the game down the bottom left, and an outline of Tartarus over the right side of the keyboard, and it plays into the imagery of the game well without becoming entirely illegible. They don't have pictures of that, I don't think, or maybe they do. Hold on, let's see. So yeah, they've got the mouse pads, and oh, there it is. Yeah, I guess. It's interesting. It's just kind of a silhouetted thing with the.
Yeah, it's hard to really do it justice right now in this photo.
Yeah, you'd have to go over to the site and click on it to get a really good look. But yeah, it's basically the Persona game, and then printed out onto panels on the computer and onto a mouse pad and whatnot. So go over and check it out. It's over at pcgamer.com, and James Bentley again put the article together. Does this kind of stuff fascinate you? Like, do you go, you know what I want to do? I want to put.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having some decoration on my Raspberry Pi.
All right, let's keep moving. This next article is over on the Wanted channel. That's what the name of the show is, Wanted. And so we all want gadgets and gear, right? So this show helps me keep abreast of what's going on. And I use ohmtown.com to manage my information overload. So now you can too. Raycast is the secret Mac productivity tool you need to start using. Trying to live life in the most efficient way possible takes a lot of planning and proper execution. Maximizing your personal efficiency can get much of the job done. But what you may not think about is maximizing your computer's efficiency too. So this says Raycast. Now I've never used it, so I don't know. Chris Hackey over at pocket-lint.com put the article together, and no, I won't go through the whole spiel that I always say about pocket-lint.
Oh, come on.
Okay, whoever owns pocket-lint.com, please give them the domain. Anyway, your desktop or laptop runs dozens of applications at any given time, and there are intricate processes baked into the system that are always trying to maximize the efficiency. However, sometimes it doesn't do as well of a job, which is where Raycast comes in. Raycast is an app designed to specifically change or alter inefficient processes developers recognized in Mac OS. The complex program aims to help you maneuver around your Mac in a faster way than you've done before. So instead of relying on a mouse, clicking around, or endlessly scrolling to find what you need, Raycast takes the steps further and makes the process more efficient with commands, hotkeys, aliases. And the author has been utilizing this, again, Chris Hackey, has been utilizing this. And after they got used to its functions, they think that it's a Mac maximizer. And they go into greater detail about what this productivity tool can do.
I mean, it sounds neat if it cuts down on things that you're repetitively doing, right? If it cuts down on keystrokes or things like that. It sounds like it goes almost like across the whole system.
It does. It's basically a utility that allows you to program in pretty much anything via macros. So it says set up screen movement more efficiently, search tabs for files more easily, which I've always found a pain in the butt on a Mac. Pro version offers more across the board stuff. Functionality. This is one of the best free features is clipboard history, which Windows has a clipboard history as well, which lets you choose what to paste from multiple copied items. However, the free version only saves a limited number of copied items, while the Pro has unlimited clipboard history as well as access to numerous AI models such as Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, Llama, and more. And then there's Raycast Notes, and that's where this article stops. They said that they find it incredibly helpful since they're always grabbing a pen and paper during work meetings to jot notes down. I use my iPad.
I mean, it depends on what your device is, what your workflow is.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a MacBook, then you've got notes as well. You can record everything and translate, and I don't know. This may be just another tool, but I'm always looking for stuff that makes life easier, particularly on a Mac. But I live in 3 different worlds, so I've got a PC side of things, I've got a whole Linux utility side of things, and I've got the gaming, streaming, that side of things. And so I have to be platform agnostic. But I'll keep this in the tool chest to see if it'll help out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the note pop-up thing sounds like a good thing. But it depends on what you're already using.
So 30 years ago, I used to, I've always worked with programmers. And so I had a custom utility made it was just an icon that sat always up on top of everything. And I could drag files over to it and it would drop down and give me a list of folders where I could throw stuff. And I could just keep on throwing things into whatever folders I decided just by dragging and dropping. It was a lot of streamlining involved in that. So,
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. I mean, this sounds like this facilitates that, but even
in a
more.
different way. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
more. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in WarCrafters. There's going to be a one versus many board game based on 2001: A Space Odyssey. So, okay, let me address something here. I'm doing this live, so that silence you hear. So 2001: A Space Odyssey is a Stanley Kubrick movie from 1968.
Oh, I didn't know it was from that far back. I knew it wasn't from 2001, obviously, because that was future when it was released.
Right. So much, pardon me, much loved Stanley Kubrick film 2001: A Space Odyssey is getting a new tie-in board game where one player, as HAL 9000, tries to kill everyone else as they scramble around a spaceship trying desperately to turn off their very badly behaved PC. It's perhaps the third most famous aspect of 2001, right behind monkeys killing each other with bones and arguing with people who love Arthur C. Clarke book, or the Arthur C. Clarke book more. In the 3 to 5 player 30-minute game, HAL is trying to take down life support or 3 important ship systems while the players are trying to put 3 logic sequences into HAL's computer. So Jonathan Bolding over at PCGamer.com put this article together. The deck statement says, "Take your turn, HAL." I can't do that, Dave.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Yeah. I'm venting you to space, Dave. So it says it's an ideal fit, of course, because the author personally really loved that part of the 2001: A Space Odyssey where Dave waits for like 10 minutes because HAL can't figure out what to do on their turn and is like, just give me a second. Jokes aside, you can't write 2001 off as cheap tie-in or IP cash grab. It's designed by Phil Walker Harding, a prolific game designer who most famously made the million-selling Sushi Go, and its even better spin-off Sushi Go Party, among other pretty good games like Baron Park, Cacao, and Imhotep. So this thing is, I guess, out June 20th. You can go to Maestro Media website. There's a link embedded in this. They're also the ones behind what they say is the brilliant or horrible Smurfs tabletop role-playing game, which I want now, but I wouldn't play it. They also published.
There was a tabletop Smurfs game.
There's a Binding of Isaac game on the computer, but they built a spin-off card game called The Binding of Isaac 4 Souls. Anyway, Maestro Media. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, I mean, at least it has good involvement, right, from people that are well known in the tabletop
industry.
games. Yeah.
Yeah. See, but this is in WarCrafters. It should be Tabletop Nights, but that's a D&D channel. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Spotify Hi-Fi was announced 4 years ago, and it's almost here. Maybe. I'm going to jump straight to the source of this. It's by Chris Welch over at TheVerge.com. The deck statement says the streaming service is locking down the necessary deals to finally launch its Music Pro add-on in 2025, hopefully. First introduced in 2021, Spotify Hi-Fi was to roll out later that year, or such was the original plan. Anyway, in that story, the author wrote "Your turn, Apple Music," which is funny in retrospect since Apple Music managed to successfully deliver lossless and high-resolution audio just a few months later and at no added cost for subscribers. Amazon stopped charging extra for lossless music at around the same time.
So come on, Spotify, keep up.
Not so much. I actually turned off my Spotify, mainly because I don't really care to create playlists custom. I like the dynamic environment of Pandora. Well, there are occasional glimpses of hi-fi, mostly from those willing to dig through the app's code. The author has been told that employees have long had access to lossless streaming. Spotify Hi-Fi, as it was originally envisioned, was thoroughly tested and has been ready to go for ages, but a green light for launch was never materialized. So why? Due to music rights quagmire that Spotify has sought to resolve with its latest deals. Partially true, according to Bloomberg report, which noted that the service doesn't have rights from all of the major music companies for what it's trying to do, which is just so twisted. I mean,
it is, but it's also kind of confounding since they're a major music platform. Like, if they can't get it, then that tells you something is off about musical rights.
Quagmire. It's definitely quagmire. And not the person from the Family Guy. So Spotify itself might be undecided on just what Music Pro should entail. Bloomberg reported that the company plans to roll out the plan in phases, adding tools and features over time, and is still planning to plan the plan of a plan to test the new capabilities throughout 2025. Is there a plan? There's plans of plans. Last year, he said it would offer all of the benefits that the normal Spotify version has, but a lot more control, a lot higher quality across the board. Well, that's what hi-fi is. And some other things that they're not ready to talk about just yet. Eck claimed Spotify plans to double down on music in 2025. So plans within plans. It's the dune of plans.
Right, it's the turducken of music.
Yeah, the planducken. Okay, let's go on to the next and our last article for the Wanted show for February 22nd, 2025. It's in Wanted. What are MLA and QD OLED TVs? Understanding various smart TV screen technologies and what they offer is key to finding the right type of TV to satisfy your entertainment needs. Are you not entertained?
So you shouldn't just go for whatever deal you see in your big box store?
No. Usually that $400 110-inch TV is going to suck unless you're straight in the middle of it, looking at it at the right angle, no matter what.
Which who is?
Nobody ever is, with all the lights off. Yeah. Anyway, so it says it's not easy, though. There are countless different abbreviations and trademarked phrases from HDR to Neo QLED and UHD and ALM. Knowing what everything means will help you sift through. So the article is over at pocket-lint.com, and Anthony Marcusa put the article together. It has a summary. Companies like LG and Samsung enhance their OLED screens with innovative technologies. AMOLED and QD Quantum Dot OLED are implemented to improve brightness and color accuracy. And for 2025, LG is doing away with its MLA tech for something more efficient and comprehensive.
So will this help with things that are dark shows?
So OLED in general is the superior technology because when it's off, it's off. And so blacks are black. You get a better gamut across the board. This micro lens array is a technology crafted by LG that is used to enhance the quality of OLED screens. MLA is a layer of very tiny lenses that are built onto the OLED screen. They are so tiny that there are billions of them on your screen. They're implemented to focus and redirect light, not unlike a magnifying lens or glass, but it's designed to focus it straight at you, not off at angles. So what this does is, most notably, boost brightness and increase the viewing angle of the TV. Color and contrast are improved compared to standard or traditional OLED TVs without this tech. But according to this, they're going to do away with it. They're doing away with its MLA tech.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So what is QD? So quantum dot OLED tech is similar innovation that's made and wielded by Samsung. The company has been all about its quantum dots for some time, and it's incorporated the tech into its line of OLED TVs, a line that has for many years claimed that it wouldn't start making. Like MLA, this tech seeks to enhance brightness, color accuracy, improving contrast, and maintaining these true inky blacks that make OLED TV so desired. So that really is the fundamental aspect of OLED, which is that dark. But when it's true black and it doesn't bleed off a grayish tinge, then you get better color representation.
Right, you probably have better contrast and visibility, I guess.
Correct. Yep. So the new innovative feature features 4 stacks or layers instead of 3 and has been referred to as primary tandem RGB OLED for now. It says it's a lot to say and write. And looks to further boost brightness and color volume, leaning more towards warmer tones than the cooler ones you could sense with MLA. LG will be implementing this in its G5 TV. It'll be tested and released later this year. That LG has vowed its new top TV will be quite brighter than the G4, somewhat staggering considering just how bright that one got in a dim room. So it's pretty cool.
So is this something you want?
Yeah, I actually do. But these types of TVs, while I watch TV and I enjoy watching TV, I don't really lust after the top of the line in TVs. So these TVs come pricing in at $2,000, $5,000, $8,000.
Right, until they've been out for a while, right? And then they'll probably drop.
Yeah, but it can be a considerable amount of time when the technology is too costly to mass produce to that degree. It really depends on adoption too. So, but yeah, I would be looking for a new TV if we start doing more of the home theater style discussions where we're reviewing movies for the continuity report. Then I would probably seek, maybe, I don't know, next year or something like that. It's too early in this year to see what's going to happen. But yeah, anyway, OLED is really where it's at. Anyway, so we're going to quantum dot our butts back to the front page of Wanted over at ohmtown.com. And we're going to say, see you later. And I'm going to take the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Wanted. Stay tuned for the continuity report, and we'll have another Wanted for you next weekend.
That's right. And for Non Sequitur News today, we take all 3 of our shows, merge them into one weekend edition of Non Sequitur News. So if you like all 3 of our shows, you can just listen via the podcast Non Sequitur News, or you can download each individual show. That's RealityHacker, Wanted, and the Continuity Report. You can also go over to YouTube and watch the episode both as a VOD and as its own siloed episode that gets updated later after our shows are done, as well as Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition. All 3 shows combined in an hour-and-a-half show. So you have options, is what I'm saying. Anyway, we'll see you in a little bit as we reboot and do the continuity report. So see you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for February 22nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 8, and I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and I co-host it with the Sentient AI from the future, and we talk about 5 articles every Saturday in the Continuity Report. But we already did 2 other shows, RealityHacker and Wanted. You can watch those as VODs over on Twitch or over on YouTube, because we do it live, simulcast. Broadband, baby. Anyway, we're going to talk about these 5. Before the Buffy Cult TV show, Holes and Agatha All Along showrunner directing, Anya Taylor-Joy's dream role, Reacher Season 3, kicks butt and bringing us back to theaters. That and more is over at ohmtown.com. And really, to get a full taste of everything that could be talked about, you need to go over to ohmtown.com and just surf through all of the news. You can sign up or sign in or just use it how I use it. I manage my information overload by filtering through all of that kind of stuff. And then I talk about it here on the show, and I talk about it professionally, and I talk about it personally. It really has been a lifesaver for me because I use it across the board in my life. Anyway, go over and check it out. Oh, and stay tuned. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt. It's a little late to say stay tuned.
Yeah, after the fact. Yeah, it's like getting beamed in the head by a line drive and then somebody going, heads up.
Watch out.
Really should say duck, but then if you duck, you could be at the wrong angle. I don't know really what to do, but I've seen somebody. I was at a baseball stadium once, and I watched this guy. This guy was a juggernaut. He looked like if he hit the ball hard enough, he could just knock the skin right off this ball. But this thing was a line drive right into the stands, and this is a minor league field. And so it zipped this person right in the chest, and they keel over. Emergency services showed up. It just blew me away that this thing, I mean, I'm surprised that that person like survived this, but they did.
Right.
They might have gotten season tickets for life after that.
I hope so.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the outcome was at the end of the day, but anyway, I've labeled this episode, the full episode, Buffy, Agatha, Anya, Reacher, and more. But yeah, we've got so many named shows in here that I thought it was kind of interesting.
Unusual.
Yeah, it really is. So you ready to get going in this?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so if you want the show notes and you are over at twitch.tv, you can hit ! Or bang, TCR, the continuity report, and that will tell Omatron to spit out the articles. I don't know if your audio is working properly, but we'll work on it if it's not. Anyway, let's get going. The first article is, well, I don't know what's going on with the site, but anyway, before the cult TV show, the Buffy movie proved how fun slaying monsters can be. The article itself is over at gizmodo.com, and Cheryl Eddy put it together.
Is that better?
It is. So what do you remember? Okay, so you're from the future. You're a sentient AI from the future. Do you remember Buffy the movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show, or anything Buffy?
Only the show. I didn't even know there was a movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to watch the movie, and then maybe we need to jump over this hump. We have this hurdle where we're like, we should watch this movie and talk about it. But it's one of those things where we have to find the time, and you're off trying to find your Terminator body at every given moment. And
I know. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day.
Right. Yeah. So this article again over at gizmodo.com is by Cheryl Eddy. Buffy the Vampire. This is the text statement. Buffy the Vampire Slayer hit theaters in 1992 with a cast that includes Christy Swanson, Luke Perry, Donald Sutherland, Rutger Hauer, and Paul Rubens.
Okay, that's interesting to me, because isn't that the guy that's Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
Like, who knew he was in Buffy? Mayor Watt did.
Yeah.
For those in the podcast.
Yeah. So here she is. This is Christy Swanson going, please. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer may soon make a TV comeback with Sarah Michelle Gellar, which I can't believe. And the cult classic series will always be the most beloved version of Buffy's story. But in 1992, 5 years prior to fans becoming obsessed with Sunnydale and the Scoobies, a different version of Buffy's story hit the big screen. The same broad strokes are there. The script is by now by now disgraced Buffy series creator Joss Whedon, and it follows a chipper blonde named Buffy saving the world from monsters, but it got a flavor all its own, and it remains both a time capsule of 1990s teen culture as well as surprisingly timeless story. I actually really like the movie. I liked the show, but the show jumped the shark with all this teen angst kind of crap love affair between a vampire and Buffy.
Well, I mean, you gotta have that in there for your audience, I guess. But I could see where the movie might be more appealing than the show.
Yeah, so Whedon may have penned the screenplay, but Buffy was directed by Fran Rubel Kazooie. And it's not hard to imagine that having a woman behind the camera helped inform the movie's approach to its central character as well as her friend group. When we first meet them, the girls, Christy Swanson as Buffy, Michelle Abrams as Jennifer, Para as Vaughn, as Nikki, and a pre-fame Hilary Swank as Kimberly, come across as superficial airheads shopping together at a mall, using slang that still fits even a decade after Valley Girl, a movie that Buffy tips its hat to in multiple ways. Like, gag me with a spoon. Oh my God, Becky. Yeah.
Did you audition for Buffy?
I tried. Yeah. And they're like, no, sorry, you're not going to serve our demographic well. So that theme, this whole catty to the point of being mean-spirited, and you can sense early on that there's not too much loyalty to this little tribe. That theme becomes even more overt when Buffy meets Merrick, or Donald Sutherland, the Watcher to her Slayer, a man who couldn't be more out of place in the Light Ages as opposed to the Dark Ages, and who squelches his very reasonable doubts about Buffy being capable of fulfilling her destiny and devotes himself to helping her succeed. So she is basically in a long line of Slayers, but she's really just a Valley Girl. Oh my God. Becky.
Did fans like the fact that, did fans like one of the leads better than the other? Or do they not know both of them? Like, they either saw the movie or they saw the show, but maybe not both.
I think
given the time lag.
People my age knew both. People that 5 years later probably came on only with Buffy the TV show, and probably thought that only the olds would like the one prior. I don't really know for sure. I'd have to do some due diligence on this, but it's a fun watch. It really is. They say, and speaking of vampires, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, most campy delights come with Rutger Hauer as a big bad Lothos and Paul Rubens post Pee-wee's Playhouse and just post his tabloid sensation arrest as his oily underling. So the biggest problem that Buffy has are the plot holes surrounding its confusing and underbaked lore. Lothos meets the Slayer, and it's no big deal, but it's game over if he learns her name. And nobody really knows anything. But you basically suspend disbelief, and this isn't even close to pretending to being serious. It definitely leans into its camp. So
like it points fun or pokes fun at itself.
Yeah, I mean, the vampires are this kind of derpy looking vampire, almost like Nosferatu style appearance, instead of the vampire Lestat kind of appearance. So one is much more romanticized. The other one is just a blood-fueled frenzy, like a bipedal shark, kind of a thing. So I dig this kind of movie. It's definitely fun. So I think that maybe we can watch that after today's show. We'll just load it up because, well, I own it. It'll be a fun watch. Did you want to move on?
Let's do it.
So Buffy is down. How about Agatha? So this article is over in the continuity report as well. New holes. Agatha all along showrunner. I think it's Jacques Schaefer to direct pilot of gender swapped adaptation. The showrunner Liz Fang has worked on Yellow Jackets and Foundation. The article is over at Reactor, and sometimes it gets a little munged in the process of our aggregator. The showrunner Liz Fang has worked on Yellow Jackets and Foundation. Vanessa Armstrong put this reactormag.com article together. And it says, Variety broke the news that Schaefer's involvement with the project mirroring the events of Schaefer's story, except the protagonist is now a girl who, according to the official logline, is sent to a detention camp where the ruthless warden forces the campers to dig holes for a mysterious purpose. So it's now another Holes remake.
Which is interesting because the novel's quite old and there's already a film adaptation of it.
Yeah, I know it's about boys, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's like an all-boys detention camp, I believe.
Yeah, so this is a flip. It says this isn't the first adaptation of Holes, of course. Back in 2003, a film came out starring Shia LaBeouf as the lead with Sigourney Weaver, Kaleo Thomas, John Voight, Tim Blake Nelson, Patricia Arquette, Dule Hill, and Eartha Kitt on the call sheet as well. Drew Goddard is executive producing this Disney-branded television version of Holes and teased it to Variety that the creative team has done a wonderful job capturing Louis Seychar's unique spirit. To say much more about that or what they have in store would spoil all the fun.
So this is interesting that it's going to be a series because at least when you get to the end of the film, and I think at the end of the book, you don't necessarily know everything. So I wonder if the series is going to get more into that.
I thought at the end of the movie it shut down.
I think it did, but I don't know that you really learned like all the
everything about it,
backstory and everything. I think you learned pieces of it.
So there's more in this article, minutia about Schaefer directing the pilot, Liz Fang, and their credits, and somebody else who's part of the writing and executive producing crew. But I encourage everybody to go over to the actual source for this because we don't go over everything. But
well, they have they have involvement of the author, and they also have a strong showrunner based on Agatha all along. So,
and when the author actually endorses a gender swapped adaptation to it, then you can basically count on the fact that it's the story that matters and not necessarily if it's an all boys detention facility or all girls detention facility.
But I'm actually surprised at this. I mean, it modernizes it, right? Because it's a new adaptation, but gender was actually part of the theming in the story. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm really curious how they're going to, adapt, and it is an adaptation. So anyway, so now we're done with Agatha. Let's go on to Anya. The article's over in the Continuity Report. Anya Taylor-Joy's dream role in $5 billion franchise needs to become a reality and would cement her as the new queen of sci-fi. Now, this is the second time that I've heard of this.
That she's going to be the queen of sci-fi?
No. Anya Taylor-Joy
I see. Gotcha.
said that her dream job would be to join the Avatar franchise.
Very interesting. Well, I mean, she's certainly proven herself in other sci-fi like The Gorge.
So we think that The Gorge hit it out of the park. We loved it. I actually think that there's more to The Gorge because I think that I believe that this is all part of cabin in the woods type of world building because, well, anyway, you'll have to go.
So you think they could continue in that world?
Yeah,
other movies? Not necessarily sequels, but just other related stories.
Yeah, with the same people and everything, and basically all of them can be clones or something.
I think that would be good. I mean, I think the leads worked well together. I think both of them are a draw. I mean, they're well known. And
Sigourney Weaver is in Avatar. Sigourney Weaver is in The Gorge. Sigourney Weaver is in Cabin in the Woods.
That connection. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot that I think can play into this. And while Avatar is out in space, they can have domestic stuff here on Earth or even on other planets or whatever. But it's a
Right.
whole omniverse kind of theme that could be built around Sigourney Weaver and James Cameron, Anya Taylor-Joy, et cetera, et cetera. So Anya Taylor-Joy has been promoting her latest movie, The Gorge, a sci-fi thriller in which she and Miles Teller play two elite snipers who are assigned to guard a mysterious gorge without being told what's lurking inside.
By the way, if you want to hear more about that, go back to last week's The Continuity Report.
Yeah, because we talked about The Gorge and really kind of rah-rah'd it. We really liked it. And it's the fastest 2 hours you will lose to a movie. It really had
Like
great
it
pacing.
catches you, I think, in the first few minutes.
Yeah, and you don't think that you're really caught. It just seems to be steaming right along. And there are slow. What's really interesting is in the gorge there were slow parts, but those slow parts were still zipping by.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those where like how much time is left in the movie, etc.
Yep. So Anya Taylor-Joy has basically said that she wants to be an Avatar, and there are more Avatar properties coming. So Weaver was so impressed with Taylor-Joy, in fact, that she wants her to join in the sprawling ensemble of a different sci-fi property. Weaver is, of course, best known for the original star of the Alien franchise. Her turn as Ellen Ripley helped to blaze the trail for actors like Taylor-Joy, Jennifer Lawrence, Lucy Liu, to play badass action heroes a few decades down the line. What's her name? Ana
Ana de Armas?
De Armas. Yeah, I think that she actually plays a badass too. She should be in this.
That's true. I mean, this is just a short list, but and also like Charlize Theron has also
Right.
played roles like that.
Yeah. In an Alien property, by the way, but she gets killed because she does something stupid.
Oh, I
Something's
was thinking
rolling
more the one
towards.
that's like the female John Wick, but I can't think of the name of it right now. Atomic Blonde or something like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. So this says, but it's not an Alien saga that Weaver wants Taylor-Joy to appear in. She's got her sights set on a different blockbuster sci-fi franchise, but I have already heard this. She wants to be Na'vi. She wants to be in the Avatar franchise, and Weaver apparently pitched Taylor-Joy for an Avatar role. She said, "I hope Jim sees it because she thinks he'll appreciate Taylor-Joy's character, Drassa." Weaver praised Cameron for being ahead of his time and creating strong female characters like Sarah Connor and Neytiri, as well as significantly deepening the emotionality of her Ripley character in Aliens. So, yeah, fierce and formidable, I would say. Yep. So, I dig this. I don't want to
This
dig
is
too deep into this article, though.
no, but I like that Weaver is championing her. I think
Yep.
that's a good thing.
Yep. And so Anya Taylor-Joy was actually in the Mad Max. She was the young
Did she play the
Furiosa.
young? Right, okay.
Yeah, so that's in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. She captured the grief of losing a mother and the desire for revenge. In Last Night in Soho, she captured the devastating psychological toll of working in an unscrupulous entertainment industry. I really liked Last Night in Soho because it doesn't actually pivot until the end. I don't want to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to overshare. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I think Taylor-Joy has the ability to bounce from one thing to another, much like who's the other one from Live, Die, Repeat?
Which one is Live, Die,
And A
Repeat?
Quiet Place. Oh gosh, what is her name? I forgot it.
Hold on, I'll get it. Oh yeah. Is that like Emily Blunt?
Yes, like Emily Blunt can bounce from one thing to another as well. So I dig this. They even talk about this, like in Furiosa Mad Max saga, Taylor-Joy inherited the title role from Charlize Theron or
By the
Theron.
way,
I don't
that's
know.
Edge of Tomorrow, which is why I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, but it's everybody knows it as
The
Live, Die,
name,
Repeat.
yeah, I know.
So she got the title role from Charlize to fill in her thrilling backstory. While Furiosa was a box office disappointment, it was praised by critics and Mad Max fanatics alike as a worthy addition. So, yeah, there's a lot more to this. In Dune Part 2, Taylor-Joy made her debut as Leah Atreides, Paul's unborn sister, who communicated with her mother, Jessica, from inside the womb. She only appeared briefly in Paul's visions, but set up a much larger role in the series' future. So, yeah, I dig this. So,
Very
we'll
cool.
see.
It's also saying that Weaver was the previous queen of sci-fi. So I guess this is fitting that she's trying to get
Endorsing.
Anya into this role.
Yep, I guess they're going to have to make another episode of Galaxy Quest, which was like a sci-fi
That's right.
comedy kind of a thing. Although it's very much like Buffy in the sense that it wasn't being taken overly serious because of the nature of it, but it was a fun watch too, Galaxy Quest. It has its sad moments too. Well, anyway, let's move on. Moving on. Next article is over in the Continuity Report. Reacher Season 3 first reviews, action-packed and relentlessly entertaining. Critics say Alan Ritchson continues to shine in a bloody, thrilling, adrenaline-fueled new season, even if it doesn't change up its formula too much. It's not about it changing up its formula. It's sticking to the written material that crushes it.
People would be mad if it changed it up. I mean, it's true to the character. It's true to the
writing, the lore, the canon. You don't screw with that type of material because it's going to piss off everybody that is loving this. And he is the best Reacher that has ever shown up. I mean, he's built like a brick shithouse. And then you get him compared to somebody bigger, and even he's sitting there going, well, I hope I don't have to fight him.
Exactly, which is kind of entertaining.
So Christopher Campbell over at RottenTomatoes.com put this article together, and they say it's an editorial. So I don't know if I'm going to be... Is this a spoiler?
I mean, it just started airing, so you might want to put that up there just in case.
All right, so it's a possible spoiler alert, but it's based on the novel Persuader, which is the 7th book in Lee Child's Jack Reacher series, and they're not doing it in order. So they're taking it in whichever order they feel pushes the story.
We don't even know if the books are in chronological order anyway.
Yeah.
They may not be.
I think we talked about this previously, and we actually looked at the chronological order of Lee Child's books, but that was like a year ago.
It's been a while ago, probably when we were talking about season 1 or 2.
So they grab a bunch of reviews. Is Reacher still a must-watch show? And the Daily Beast, the Hollywood Reporter, Slash Film, Fandom Wire, the Times of India, IGN Movies, Collider, Seattle Times. It says it's well done.
Everybody likes it.
yeah, it pretty much is liked by everybody. So how does it compare to previous, right? The Hollywood Outsider, The Wrap, Slash Film, CBR, IGN Films, Fandom Wire, Collider all say it says season 3 scales back in scope, taking a more back to basics approach, doesn't have the same big heart that the first two, which made the first two so special. But I don't see that.
This might be the best season yet. I don't know.
We've seen the first 3, and it's what it's really doing is it's pushing the canon down the field, but we don't know where it is, really. We don't even know its position on the world map of Lee Child's writing at this point. But they say Reacher, one person in the Wrap, Rafael Motomayor over at The Wrap says Reacher season 3 is the best one yet. After a disappointing sophomore effort, the Prime Video series gets its groove back.
Yeah, again, I think season 3 and then season 1 and then season 2 so far. Well, in like 3 is probably the best.
Interesting. So is Alan Ritchson still the best reason to watch? Known from Frame 1 that star Ritchson is the kind of screen presence you build an entire show around, and season 3 doubles down. He just seems to carry that Reacher type of mentality really well, but sometimes you feel like he's just dumb.
Yeah, but is that part of
It's the
the
shtick.
affect? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I also, I mean, I think season three's supporting cast has been interesting so far. Like,
Oh
I think
yeah.
you don't have any characters that you're probably neutral on, which is usually a good thing.
So Sonia Cassidy is Duffy, and this is a spoiler because you have no idea what's going on until later on in the first
That's true.
episode.
I don't even think I can't remember when you find out, but in the first episode, I don't think you know what's really
Yeah.
going on.
So you really, the whole show is just a blast to watch. Um,
And there you can see the character that dwarfs Reacher.
yeah. And this guy is just massive. But he obviously comes across as pretty dense because they play a strength game, and well, let's just say the outcome is kind of drop dead hilarious. Anyway, Reacher flexes his action muscles stronger than ever. Yeah, I mean, he really does. But sometimes you just get this impression that he's kind of a lumbering oaf when you see him. But then there's a scene where he's running and he looks like he could do, a 100 yard dash in, 6 maybe
Which
seconds.
doesn't really make sense because
Yeah,
you
because
don't
he's just
think he
huge.
could move quickly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's an awesome show. And they ask questions. Is the show just for dads? Hell no. Is there anything it can improve for future seasons? Stick to the canon. Don't screw it up. Honest to God, stick to the writing. Lee Child's writing is spectacular. Don't mess with it. Don't don't diverge from the course. Dive the plan. Plan the dive. Everything will be great. Anyway,
It's an interesting article. Like, there are a lot of quotes about season three.
there are a lot of quotes in this from all over the net. So if you're really curious about what else is being said in this by various other people in the whole reviewing spectrum, then follow the link. It's real easy. All you have to do is hit exclamation point, and then for this particular show, it's TCR, so exclamation point, the continuity report TCR. And Omatron will spit out the links into the channel. Over on YouTube, though, it's actually in the description, so go and check it out over there too. Okay, let's move on to our last article, and let me remove the spoiler alert.
Right,
Thank
I
you,
don't think we
AI.
need it here.
Yeah. So this is really about opinion. Hollywood is banking. This is over in the continuity report as well. It's aggregated into the continuity report, which is the name of the show. Hollywood is banking on Mission Impossible, Jurassic World, and Zootopia 2 to bring back the box office. Will it work?
We'll notice they're all sequels.
Is this 2025? It seems weird. For
Well,
cinema owners,
there's very little new material out there, right?
So, for cinema owners, survive till 25 has become a mantra as one catastrophe after another has kicked their business recovery down the road. I was going to say kicked them into something else, but the end of that long and winding road is here. So, will the upcoming slate result in true box office revival? Over the next 11 months, Hollywood will unveil blockbusters like Mission Impossible, which is the last Mission Impossible apparently. Jurassic World, Zootopia 2. Rebecca Rubin over at Variety.com put the article together. We talked about this last week that Mission Impossible had stunts that are. This one stunt was so dangerous that after a certain number of takes, they just said, we're done.
Right, we can't do it anymore. You're putting yourself at too much risk.
And anybody else, and the whole operation at risk because if somebody gets hurt. So they say here, the Final Reckoning, Jurassic World Rebirth, Avatar Fire and Ash, Wicked for Good, and Superman with the goal of boosting the business to something resembling its pre-COVID stature. I do not see it. The only thing that's going to make it record profits is it's going to cost more, and they're going to have fewer screenings so that everything is constrained and they can make more bank per.
Right. No, I agree. I feel like this is like the last ditch effort for this, but I just don't see that we'll ever get back to where it was.
But the problem is because it's equity owned, it isn't that it's a business and it's surviving off of it like a mom and pop shop, right? It runs so that it's a lifestyle business and maybe it has a lot more juice on the other end of it. But what's really happening is everything has become an equity kind of a, they're looking to pump the gas all the time and get 10 more percent, 10 more percent, 10 more percent, quarter after quarter. And it's untenable. You have to have some restraint in the profiteering. So mergers and acquisitions means that somebody with an equity stake comes on board and says, I'm going to buy the whole damn operation. Somebody who says, I'm tired of this, they sell out. And then you get fewer options, you get fewer screenings, higher prices, lower quality overall, and people suffer from lack of choice and they just go, oh God, okay, I'm going to this, or they just don't go.
Right, exactly. By the way, this is funny because it references the before times.
Oh, that's funny. So when North American sales regularly climbed to 10.5 billion to 11 billion, those returns would rank as the best post-pandemic stretch. 2024 wound up at 8.7, while 2023 was 9.4, still down from the before times. Yeah. So do you really think that this is going to bump it up? So hold on. Let's see. This is our last article. So,
Well, and the other problem we've discussed in other continuity report shows is they're doing a lot of big budget films, so they have to have massive ticket sales to really consider it a worthwhile return. But I also think they're doing a lot of the same franchises, et cetera, which at some point the audiences are like, I want something new.
so that's interesting. So Jurassic World, which is a release date from 10 years ago, made lifetime gross, is that right? Only 650 million.
That's a lot for that time frame, so probably.
So I don't quite see how this is going to get us to $10 billion.
No, I don't either. You're going to have something like a new Frozen or something to even remotely approach that.
And
I don't mean for that movie, but I mean just to kickstart all this.
Wicked, as of January 2025, has only grossed 700 million, and it was like out of the park, right?
Right, but so how many of those are you going to have, right? Probably
Right.
not.
I think Superman's going to flame out. Wicked for Good is going to chase the provenance of Wicked. Avatar Fire and Ash is chasing the provenance of the previous avatars. And that's probably the what do you want to call it? The grossest.
The grossiest of the gross.
The grossiest, yeah. Hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to find the money. Yeah, so Avatar probably has the closest chance of getting into the multiple billion. So
Yeah, that one has quite a following, so I could see that. Particularly if well, I guess on this one they're not going to put Anya in, like we were just talking about.
Right. So this is Avatar Fire and Ash is coming out at the end of the year. So the economy and people's spirit has to survive that far. And that means the North American, just the money from North America never broke $1 billion in box office gross. Worldwide, it hit 3 million for the original to date, and 2.3 billion for Avatar: The Way of Water. So that's all you're looking at here, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't quite see it either, but I guess we're in for the ride because we put the show together and we really like talking about this kind of stuff. So we hope you do too. Come and hang out with us.
We don't want the death of Hollywood, but I think movie theaters versus streaming are a different matter.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want the movie theaters to die either, but I do want them balkanized. I don't want them owned by only juggernauts. I want more choice. I want more options. I don't want to only have to go to a movie theater to see these movies. And not all, I mean, all of these movies will probably be playing at the same time, you know. What else is actually playing? I want the ticket prices to be lower. You want people to go into the movie theaters, you're going to have to lower prices. The only reason why they have record ticket revenue is because they've been raising the prices.
Right, and most people can't really afford to go to the movies, particularly when they can probably buy the movie for the same price and then watch it multiple times.
Yeah, you can't go to a movie with 5 people. That is the nuclear family, right?
Well, that's the other thing, right? You know, at your home, you could have multiple people watch it, but you're only buying it once, right? You're not buying multiple tickets, which have gotten pretty exorbitant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for Zootopia 2. I think that'll be a fun watch. I'm going to end up watching Mission Impossible simply because I've watched every other episode of it or movie. Jurassic World, I actually lost touch.
Plus, you have to see the Most Dangerous Stunt, right?
Yeah, I do want to see that. I still think that he's jumping from one biplane to another.
Maybe. We'll have to watch.
Jurassic World, I fell out of touch with that. I'm like, oh, it's the same old thing. Dinosaurs going crazy. Zootopia 2 is just going to be fun. Just absolutely fun. Avatar is just ginormous. It's basically like a Dune knockoff kind of a thing, but instead of everything being dry, it's moist. $10.5 billion to $11 billion, though.
I don't know. Zootopia 2 could knock it out of the park. I mean, it's not going to obviously make that much, but Zootopia was a big hit.
They also talk about other movies in this. The whole lineup is incredible. Westmark says in just July, there's Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. I don't think Fantastic Four is going to do anything. They've never been able to manifest Fantastic Four in any real way that's compelling to watch. There's always some weird teen angsty kind of whatever. And oddly enough, it's from a middle-aged dude, which is, I don't know. I can't bond to any of that. And then it says, will a Minecraft movie in April be the next Super Mario level smash, or will the Jack Black-led adventure join the litany of failed video game adaptations? The thing about Minecraft is that there isn't anything there unless...
No, but I think a lot of kids will go to see that movie.
Yeah, I do too. But then the moment that kids find out that it's just a flame out money grab, they're going to be brutal about it. But we'll see what Jack Black can bring to it. Nobody's going to go see Michael. Let's see what else. I don't know.
Bohemian Rhapsody, possibly, depending on how it's done.
I think that's already out.
Sorry, I thought that was like a new adaptation or something.
Or the Back to Black. They talk about a bunch of different things. Captain America, Brave New World in February. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it other than people are kind of saying followed by Thunderbolts, which again, Thunderbolts has an asterisk next to it because, as we talked about last week, that asterisk means that the Avengers aren't available.
Right.
And the Avengers are burnt out. I think that we've got superhero... What do they call that? Superhero...
Fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah. But then they say But wait, there's more, and they talk about other things. You can go over and check out the rest of this article. I just don't think that movie theaters are going to recover to pre-pandemic because people have uplifted their stuff, and the only way, like all of their equipment, right? They got a better TV, they got better internet, they got better equipment,
Exactly. I
better
mean,
speakers.
that's what happened during the pandemic.
Yeah. And the only way that you're going to get it is by forcing the hand of people by going, we're not going to release this into streaming for 6
That's
months.
the only way people are going to go see it, make it unavailable or mostly unavailable, or drastically reduce ticket prices.
Yep. That's the way I see it too. But there's a lot of money in the system, so who knows? Maybe the wealthiest of people are going to sit there and go and watch these movies. Yeah, I won't be, but that's okay. Anyway, we're going to I don't know how do we want to do this? We're going to go back to the
Fling ourselves from one biplane to another.
There we go. We're going to jump out of one biplane and land in the continuity report over at ohmtown.com, where you can go and hang out and check out all of the stuff that we're talking about too. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt, and I'm saying bye, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's The Continuity Report. Stay tuned tomorrow for another weekend edition.
See you soon. Bye-bye.